Alright, greetings and salutations. My name is Comic Fire, and welcome back for more Katawa Shoujo. The gate looked far too pompous for what it was. In fact, gates in general seem to do that, but this one especially so. Red bricks, black wrought iron, and gray plaster assembled into a whole that didn't feel welcoming at all. I wondered if it looked like what a gate for a school should look like, but couldn't really decide. Probably no. Of course, I didn't want to get stuck on thinking about the gate for too long, so I entered through it with a brisk pace that felt surprisingly good. Moving forward feels good. So I walked towards the main building of Yamaku Academy with this brisk pace. I'm alone, as my parents are taking my stuff to the dorms, and there's supposed to be someone waiting for me. The grounds are incredibly lush, filled with green. It doesn't feel like the kind of grounds a school would have, more like a park with a clean walkway going past trees, and the smell of fresh-cut grass and all the other park-like things. Words like clean and hygienic pop into my mind. It makes me shudder. I shake them off. Stay open-minded now. It's your new life. You have to take it as it comes. That's what I tell myself. A few big buildings loom behind the leafy canopies. Too big and too many for just a school. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. It seems off. It's different from what I thought I knew about schools. It's an uncanny valley. Even though I was told this is my new school, in the back of my head it doesn't feel like one. I wonder if the feeling is real or caused by my expectations of a school for the disabled. Speaking of that, I don't see anyone else here. It's kind of eerie. Excuse me. It makes me wish there was someone here so I could anchor myself to something tangible, instead of having this feeling that I stepped into another dimension. The trees hum with the wind, and the green hues flashing all around me catch my attention. It makes me think about hospitals again, how they say operating rooms are painted green because green is a calming color. So why am I feeling so anxious despite all this greenery? I'm texting a friend right now, sorry. Only after I stand in front of the haughty main building, I surprise myself by realizing why the gate bothered me. It was the last chance I had to turn back, even if I had no life to return to. But still, after entering, there was absolutely no way I could go back anymore. Feeling nervous and with this realization set in my head, I opened the front door. A tall man with a bad posture notices me as I enter. We're the only people in the lobby, so it's only logical. You must be, Nikki? Nikai. So you are. Excellent. I'm your homeroom teacher and science teacher. My name is, Muto. Welcome. We exchange a handshake that's neither firm nor sloppy, and he looks at his watch. The, head nurse asked you for a brief check-in visit, but there's no time for that now. Oh, should I, go later? Yes, afternoon is probably fine. We should get going and introduce you to the rest of the class. They're waiting already. Waiting for me? I don't like being the center of attention, but I guess it's inevitable in a situation like this. Somehow, not knowing what's waiting for me makes me feel really nervous. Thinking of this, I almost missed what the teacher's saying. Do you want to introduce yourself to the class? And here we have our first choice in the game! The choices will decide what ending you can get. Now, if I'm not mistaken, neither of these actually matter, so just choose yeah, of course. See that little check? It means I've chosen it before. Yeah, sure. I mean, isn't that normal? Of course, but not everyone likes to be at the center of attention. I'm probably one of those people, but I guess I should be the one to give the first impression of myself. Right, but it's, no problem. Let's go then. I made my voice too similar with that. My heart is pounding in my chest, and it keeps me thinking about my condition as I follow the teacher up the stairs. The third door down the third floor corridor is marked as the room for class 3-3. Muto opens the door and enters. Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late again. I hesitate for a split second at the door, freezing on the spot. Get a grip! This is a big step, I know that, but there isn't any point to worrying so much about it. At least not this soon. I follow the teacher into the classroom and look around, partially so I won't have to meet the curious gazes of my new classmates. It's pretty spacious, the ceiling's unusually high, and there's a lot of space left over around and in between the desks. An entire wall is taken up by blackboards, and the high, old-fashioned windows only make it seem larger. The students' desks are just standard wooden desks with a shelf underneath for books, and wooden chairs with metal frames, simple and efficient. I stop walking in front of the classroom and face the other students. They all look normal, like students in any other school, but then why would they be here? They're probably like me and only have something wrong with them, but not immediately obvious. Then I notice one of the girls seems to be missing the thumb of her right hand. It's a little jarring. Despite the natural tendency to listen when someone's talking about you, I tune out the teacher's speech halfway through when he introduces me to the class. I notice a flash of dark hair, notice someone is looking at me. A girl with really long, straight hair that's pretty eye-catching. As she sees me looking back at her, she covers her face with her hands as if it'll make her invisible. There's one boy with a cane leaning against the lockers at the rear of the class. It's pretty weird seeing someone so young with a cane. Another girl seems to be making some weird hand motions. Sign language? Who knows? She peers at me over the rims of her glasses and goes back to what she's doing. She's kinda cute. So's the cheery-looking girl with the pink hair sitting next to her. She's really hard to miss, so I don't know how I did notice her the moment I walked in. And please welcome our newest classmate. He claps his hands, and so does everyone else, except one girl in the first row only has one hand. That's fucking dark. I cringe a little, but hide it by bowing in thanks for this applause I did not deserve. The collective silence tells me I should open my mouth now. So, I'm Asao Nakai. And after that, my hobbies are reading and soccer. I hope to get along well with everyone, even though I'm a new student. After that, I'm being so boring. This is exactly like every self-introduction ever. I should say something more exciting. And I end up saying nothing, and the teacher picks up from there. Everyone seems to be satisfied with what little I said, though. A few girls are whispering to each other, throwing glances at me. Could've gotten worse. I listen to the teacher as he drones on about getting along while letting my gaze sweep across the classroom. Everyone seems to be listening to him intently, and when he's done, they clap their hands again, which feels like a weird thing to do. The first row girl claps on this round with her hand against her other wrist that ends up in a bandaged stump. Makes me feel a little bad. We're going to be doing some group work today, so that'll give you a chance to talk with everyone. Is that okay with you? I'm going to try to make him sound like my English teacher. Yeah, it's fine with me. That's good. You can work with Hakamichi. She's the class representative. She can explain anything you might want to know. And who else would be able to do that better, right? How could I know? The teacher passes out the day's assignments and announces we'll be working in groups of 3. Hits me I don't know who Hakamichi is. Slow? The teacher seems to catch my helpless expression. Oh, right. Hakamichi is right there. Shizune Hakamichi. As he calls out her name, the cute, bubbly-looking girl with the bright pink hair and gold eyes waves her hand at me. I take a seat next to her by the window. Hey, I guess you're Hakamichi, right? It's nice to meet you. What? I'm caught off guard by her laughter. It's nice to meet you too, but I'm not Hakamichi, I'm Misha. This is Hakamichi, Shishan. I'm trying to make her all bubbly and whatnot. Giggling, Misha points to the girl next to her, the one I saw using sign language before. Looks like she's been staring at me this whole time. She nods once nonchalantly to show that she acknowledges my presence, but only barely. She has short yet carefully neatly brushed hair, a pair of oval-shaped glasses balanced on the tip of a dainty nose, and dark blue eyes that seem to alternate every few seconds between analytical and slightly bored. It's nice to meet you. She immediately looks at Misha, who smiles and makes a few quick gestures with her hands. Hakamichi nods and makes a few gestures of her own. I start to wonder if the teacher was messing with me, saying things like, you'll be able to talk to people, and who better to explain things to you. I can see you're a little confused, right? But I understand why you'd think I was Shichan. Shichan is deaf, so I'm the person who translates things back and forth for her. I'm like an interpreter. She says it's nice to meet you, too. You're the new student here, aren't you? Well, Shichan, of course he is. If he wasn't, he wouldn't have been standing up there for no reason, right? Right! He seems like a very interesting person, doesn't he? We all knew there was going to be a new student, but we didn't know you'd be here today so soon, Hit-chan, right? Hit-chan? Yep, it fits, doesn't it? Did I say it out loud? It's just a surprise. I never liked that nickname. I don't really see how. It fits. You look just like I imagined. Yeah, you look just like a Hit-chan. I wonder why everyone seems to think so. Hakamichi taps her fingers on the desk to get Misha's attention. They gesture back and forth to each other excitingly, their hands a blur. I realized that sentence was kind of incoherent. Misha seems a little overwhelmed. Sorry about that. John wants you to know that she's the class rep. So if there's anything you need to know, you can feel free to ask her. Do you like the school so far? We can show you around a little if you haven't had time to walk around and familiarize yourself with it. Misha stumbles with the hard word a bit, making her stick out in her otherwise fluid translation. Thanks. It'd be pretty helpful. Yeah, I just kind of came straight to class today. That's no good. You should always try to learn as much as you can about where you're going before you go there. Not just at school either. Always. Even if it's a trip to the convenience store. Really, Shitcha? Learn about where you're going, huh? Guess I didn't bother to do that, or just didn't care enough to do so. I didn't look forward to this, even if I committed myself to go along with it half-assedly, but anyway. I don't say anything, and Misha signs something that ends in a shrug. What was that? It seems like it was about me. I feel like slumping over in my seat. Both of them are smiling, but that shrug hit me unexpectedly deeply. You look down. Are you okay? Don't take it the wrong way, please. I hate it when people are afraid to ask questions. That's how people learn things, by asking. Asking for help is perfectly normal, as much as needing help. Stop looking like you just failed a test. God, it's so freaking difficult to do her voice. Alright. Because I'm trying to think about what voice it would do, and I make it sound like I'm just retarded. And another thing, you don't have to call Shichan something so formal like Hakamichi or class rep all the time. Just call her Shichan. Okay, maybe that's too casual. Maybe Shizune would be more appropriate? Yep, Shizune is fine. Alright, that'd be a lot easier for me. I feel a lot more at ease. Both of them seem so friendly, so I feel like an idiot about being so apprehensive earlier. Especially about Shizune, who I assumed would be all business. Well, she still seems like that, just less so, I guess. Huh? Oh right, we haven't even touched the assignment! We should start work now, or Shichan will get mad. The assignment's also kind of long, so we should start now if we want to finish it before the end of class. That too. Shizune glares at the two of us impatiently. I don't need no sign language to understand that. Alright, I got the message. After class, we can take a walk around the grounds together. It's a nice day today, okay? The assignment's actually very challenging to get through, combining aspects of being both difficult and unnecessarily long. Still, we finished it a few minutes earlier than anyone else in the class, despite our late start. Shizune and Misha are really capable. Quite different, though. The class rep is as calm and professional as she looks, while Misha's a lot more playful and girlish, not to mention a little more easily distracted. To be honest, though, the two of them did the most of the work. I feel guilty about that. The clock tower bells ring, signaling the end of the period. Time for lunch! Without knowing what else to do, I follow Misha, who's beckoning me into the hallway and down the stairs. We descend even below the lobby robot Mutsu and down to the bottom floor. Just like everything in this school, the cafeteria seems too spacious and oddly modern in contrast to the classic exterior. Its big windows open to the courtyard towards the main gate. It's the cafeteria! Her enthusiastic statement of the obvious makes people around us stare, but Misha doesn't seem to care, so we proceed to the line. It's a rather long list of menu options. It seems great till I realize that many of them are to accommodate students who need special diets. How nice. It almost feels like I'm back at the hospital, eating portions measured with scientific precision to meet the needs of the patients. I pick something up at random and follow Shizune to a table, sitting opposite of her. As I nibble indifferently at the food I'd rather not eat, Misha pokes me in the side to get my attention and points at Shizune. I don't understand signs, the point escapes me. Maybe looking at a person who talks to you is proper and polite? Do you want to know something? What? About anything! We're your guides, so you should ask if there's something. I wonder. And we can ask about the library, Shizune's deafness, or I think I've got everything I need to know. So why don't we ask about the library? We like libraries. Oh yeah, is there a library in the school? Lately I've gotten into reading a lot, so I'd like to check it out. Misha gives the kind of frown that makes it clear she doesn't consider reading a healthy hobby, but she picks up her smile again. There is! It's on the second floor. We can show it to you sometime. Thanks. I return to my food while the girls talk between themselves. Misha and Shizune sign back and forth very animatedly, throwing sideways glances at me, but Misha refrains from translating. Maybe they're talking about secret girl stuff or something. I quickly notice a conversation in time is not enough to fill a silence. We arrive at the classroom early, but we're not the first. That dark-haired girl I noticed before is slumped over her desk at the last row. She jumps a little when Misha crashes into the room with the elegance of a rhino. She shrinks deeper into her seat, and I can feel her tension all the way from here, as if she were slowly turning to stone just from her presence. Misha and Shizune don't notice it or don't mind it as they walk directly past her to their seats and begin to converse. I'm left wondering about her, even when the classroom slowly fills with other students and finally the teacher. Getting into the rhythm of school feels strange. It's as if my brain remembers how this is done, but my body doesn't. Towards the end of class, I start yawning and counting the minutes left. I shouldn't be this tired on my first day of school. It's a long time spent in the hospital that made me feel like this, even feeling physically weak and lifeless. Before long, the final bell rings. School's finally over for the day. Beside me, Misha and Shizune are having a short conversation. After a bit of deliberation, Misha turns to me. What could she be saying? I guess we're just gonna have to find out the next episode.